Paramount Plus is coming and it's going to cost... How's it going, everybody? This is Dave LeClaire with MUO Tech Bytes, and I am here to bring you the biggest tech news stories from the last 24 hours. So I would appreciate it greatly if you would come along with me for this ride and let us learn about the news. We teased it at the beginning, but here we go. The first story of the day is that Paramount Plus finally has a price. Paramount Plus is one of the more talked about streaming services that's coming along with tons of movies, tons of TV shows, all the good stuff that Paramount owns. But the one thing that we didn't know about it was how much it was going to cost. But now we finally know that it will start at $4.99 a month for the cheapest tier. Interestingly though, the cheapest $4.99 tier will not be available till June. Instead, it will be the CBS All Access price, which is what Paramount Plus is basically being rebranded as. It'll be $5.99 a month for the cheapest tier with ads. Now, if you don't want ads, you could spend $9.99 and get the ad-free tier. Does this sound familiar? Because this is about the same structure of every other streaming service under the sun. If you don't mind ads, it's $5. If you don't want ads, it's $10. This seems to be the way of the world. This seems to be the way they're all going. We expected Paramount Plus to come in at around this same price point, and that is exactly what they did. Where Paramount Plus does stand out though is that the $9.99 tier also gets you some live sports and news and other stuff that you don't get. So it's not just removing ads, it's actually adding additional content, which is kind of a nice change of pace compared to a lot of the other services which literally just remove ads for the extra cost. There's all kinds of stuff coming to Paramount Plus. It would take me an entire video just to list off the content that's coming. But basically what you need to know is that theatrical releases will come to the service 30 to 45 days after they're in theaters. This includes movies like A Quiet Place 2, which is personally one of the movies that I'm looking most forward to because the first one was awesome. But other content will be there along with Paramount Plus originals, popular TV shows from the CBS Viacom library like SpongeBob and a lot of the Nickelodeon stuff. There's a ton of stuff. I'll put a link in the description to the PDF that Paramount Plus put out that has a list of literally everything that's coming to the service because there's quite a bit. It looks like a pretty good value for $5, but if you already have services like Discovery Plus and you have Netflix and Hulu and this and that and HBO and blah, 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 are you looking to sign up for another streaming service or are you happy with what you have? Let us know in the comments if you plan on signing up for Paramount Plus. Foldable phones are not going anywhere, but when they really hit the big time is when Google makes one. And apparently, Google might be working on one, according to a new report. The report comes from The Elect, which is a Korean publication, and basically what it says is that Google is actually in talks with Samsung to purchase foldable displays, which we assume that it will use to make foldable phones. So maybe they just want to build like a tent out of foldable displays and have like a cool office space made of foldable screens, but I'd say the more likely scenario is that they probably want to make phones with them. The report indicates that Google was looking at a 7.6-inch display, which is about the size that most of the foldable phones are, though we don't know if it'll be a clamshell like the Motorola Razr or like the Galaxy Z Flip, or if it'll be the bigger tablet-sized phone like the Galaxy Fold 2. We will have to wait and see if this even comes to fruition, what design Google goes with, but I would venture to guess that it would probably be more like the Fold, just because that's a little bit more versatile. But what's exciting about this is that Google tends to price their phones very competitively. So while most of the foldables like that are $2,000 and Huawei just announced a $3,000 one, we may see Google go a little bit lower since the company tends to like to kind of push things down a little bit. The Pixel 5 was priced shockingly low, so who knows, maybe we'll get our first foldable in the $1,000 range, which would be quite exciting and would probably make foldables a lot more appealing to the broader audience. Now again, this is just a rumor. Google could just be buying these screens to make prototypes. We may never actually see a foldable phone from Google, or if we do, it might be 5 years down the road. It's just nice to know that Google is at least thinking about it because foldable phones are pretty cool. They're just prohibitively expensive. But once the durability has been proven and the price can come down, foldable phones are pretty exciting. When it comes to services designed for online meetings, it's hard to beat Zoom. In the pandemic, Zoom really took off as one of the de facto places to have your meeting. And now one of the coolest features, which is an accessibility feature, is actually coming to everybody as Zoom has made Captions free for everyone to use. So basically what Zoom is doing here is it's taking an automatic closed captioning feature similar to something that you get like on YouTube or Facebook when you upload a video, and it's making it free to everybody. And instead of having to manually transcribe meetings for those who are hearing impaired, this feature would make it so the captions happen automatically. Everybody can focus on the meeting, and the people who need the captions will at least get a ballpark of what's happening, because as we know, automatic captions are not perfect, but as long as it can get the gist of what's happening, it can be quite helpful. Unfortunately, the new feature is not coming to Zoom until fall of 2021, so while it's exciting that it's free, hopefully by the fall of 2021, we won't be so reliant on online meetings and maybe we'll be back to work in a normal fashion We will have to wait and see. Obviously, we never know how the pandemic is going to shake out, but it's nice to dream, right? Listen here, I got some good news for you. I got some bad news for you. The good news, the NVIDIA RTX 3060 is officially on sale. The bad news, it is sold out everywhere and you can't get one. If you didn't hop online at noon Eastern and buy yourself one of these graphics cards, you are probably gonna have a super hard time finding one unless you're willing to buy it off of a scalper. I just wanted to tell you that because I didn't get one, so I just wanted a place to complain about the fact that I tried to order one and I couldn't. Because $329 is really solid for a card with ray tracing support, and apparently everybody knows this because everybody went out and bought one already. So if you didn't get one, let's all mourn together. And that is that, ladies and gentlemen. This episode of MUO Tech Bytes is in the books. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy day to hang out with me, Dave LeClaire, while I run through the biggest tech stories from the last 24 hours. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next video.